So I don't know what's going on in Memphis behind the scenes. No clue, but Morant, he the guy's usually in the media one way or another, whether it be him and his Twitter fingers, whether it be a highlight reel dunk. But he's been yeah. I'm just at a loss for words for the headlines that just been popping up around his name surrounding him. He got the Powerade commercial. We thought it was going up. It starts to resurface about him and that altercation he had with the underage. Okay, let me reword that. 17-year-old boy. Apparently, he's punching the, punching the brakes off of him 12, 13 times. And after that, I guess he flashed a gun. So, and then a few days later, the guy's in a nightclub or whatever. Whoop de whoop whoop. It's no biggie. NBA players always in a club, but the guy is on IG Live, flashing a firearm, flashing that fire. I'm just at a loss for words, man. And no one. I mean. I'm just at a loss for words. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know where to start, what to say. Just how? Why? What are you doing? Messing up the bag? Ethan, bro, please say something, because I'm out of words. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Jaws on the down and down. We're on the up and up. Got the new mic. Got a new microphone. Probably can hear me a little bit better. Got that podcast money going.
Yes, sir.
We're going up and up. But no, back to the Ja situation. It's just stupid, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Stupid is not the word.
You're literally like, he's on his own IG live. It's not like someone else is recording him from the other side of the club and he's holding the gun in his hand. Like, dude is literally going on his own IG live and showing the gun. And it's like, I remember Shannon Sharp had this big quote, like, when the first reports came out, and he was like saying, "Ja, like, you're not this guy, dude. Like, you're trying to be you're trying to be a rapper, and you're like not a rapper. You're trying to be something that you're not, bro. So, like, stop acting. Like, just when you get to a certain level of, like, his stature with, like, NBA level money coming in and stuff like that, you don't need that stuff anymore. You leave that stuff behind."
Exactly.
And it's like, people say, like, oh, he surrounded himself with bad people. Yeah, he is. He's doing it to himself. It's not like they're just following him around. He's allowing those type of people to be around in his environment. So it's like, when you get to this level, bro, like, one little slip up can cost you, bro. I mean, cost him 2 games. He's suspended for a minimum of 2 games while the NBA investigates him. It's just not a good look, too. Endorsement deals could drop. He just dropped his shoe, dude. He just dropped his shoe.
That's what I'm saying.
And he's doing this stuff. And like, his first few seasons in the league, you never even heard anything about, like, any of this type of situation going on.
Coming out of Murray State now.
Right, and then now he's got the bag now, and all these things are starting to come up. He's punching a 17-year-old. He, like, threatened I think it was a security guard with a gun or something like that, too. He's just moving a little different now than he used to move when he didn't have the money. But now that he's got the money, he's kind of like flipping in some circumstances. So that's what I got to say about it initially. But what do you think?
It just goes to show, man, with great power, great influence comes even greater amounts of responsibility. I'm not saying that he can't come back from this or whatever, but he can only come back from this if he chooses to make, like, a drastic shift in image, if he chooses to consciously, like, okay, I know this is, of course, what you're doing is bad, but, like, okay, I know the reasons, like, for real, why I can't do this type of stuff. And besides that, dude, it's just a little disappointing to see. You hear stories about athletes and stuff, and egos, dealing with egos, their personality or whatever, and when you're young, on top of the world, you got what seems like infinite amount of money. It's after you start making 6 figures, bro, you're just gonna have a huge amount of excess in money. So tenfold, whatever, exponential more amount of money. It feels like the world is your oyster. It feels like you can really do whatever you want. And especially in Memphis, I'm sure he's looked at a king, looked like you know what I mean, looked at as a king out there in Memphis. It's pretty much his city. Dude's cool with all the rappers, Moneybagg, NLE. That type of influence, man, it could either make or break you. And what I mean by that is if you were, you know, choosing to do good with it, or choosing to make, you know, business moves, entrepreneurship, whatever, all that type of stuff, collaborations like he did with the shoe, or more than that with rappers or whatever, and like direct that type of energy or whatever, that type of opportunity into a positive light, none of this would be even happening if he just decided to make better use of his opportunity, his platform influence. But instead, here we are talking about this guy flashing a gun at a 17-year-old, punching a 17-year-old. Like, it's just weird almost. It's just you're putting yourself into situations you have no business being in. You didn't have to. You could have been in the nightclub with the firearm. We wouldn't have known. Look, it's legal to have protection on you in America, bro. But you are an NBA player. We've seen the photos of how you were looking, and before that, we've seen your upbringing. Come on, bro. We know you're not about that lifestyle. Look, I understand, young boy. I'd be lying if I told you young boy didn't make me feel some type of way too listening to him. But you can't get on Instagram Live acting a fool because you want to act out your alter ego or whatever. Just because no matter how much money or ego or influence you feel like you have, man, it's not a good look, because people really do. They look up to you, man. People in that city, little kids, your organization, even the people that have you on payroll. What are they gonna sit there and think? It's the same thing Allen Iverson was going through when he made a rap song even, and he was talking about this. David Stern pulled him into his office, and he said he wasn't even thinking about any of that before he did that. And when David Stern pulled him into his office, he didn't say anything else, but he pulled out a paper and read the lyrics of what AI was saying in that rap song. There's nothing wrong with making rap music. There's nothing wrong with making rap music. But when he pulled out and read those lyrics to AI said he felt a level of embarrassment he never felt before, because he's just sitting there, it's like, bro, like, I know what this is about and I know what this is. And maybe a little bit is like, all right, bro, I was just having fun or whatever. But when you, like I keep saying, when you have this level of opportunity, responsibility, there's just certain things you can't be doing. For that type of bread, for that type of respect, whatever it may be, you've dedicated too much of your life to this, too much of your grind to this. This should be, you know, your profession, and you should, I'm not saying you have to carry yourself in a professional manner at all times. We're humans. But you can't be doing this. Bottom line, you can't be doing this.
Yeah. I'm not trying to like tell a father how they should like be parenting their kid, but
he's got a daughter. I didn't think.
He's got a daughter too. Like, how does this react? He's got his dad there all the time too. T. Morant. What are you telling your son? Like, I mean, clearly, like, you haven't said anything, or maybe it's not coming across. Maybe right. Ja's just not like comprehending or connecting the dots of like how you should be acting, but
something in that inner circle's got to change.
Completely. It's either him or people around him, but either way, he has to make the decision on 100%. What it is. So, I mean, this reminds me a little bit of like Gilbert Arenas when he brought the guns into the locker room, and it's like Ja's so much better than Gilbert Arenas that like his potential in the league is like astronomical, and that brought Gilbert Arenas down. Gilbert Arenas was a great NBA player, but he's not on the same level as Ja, so it's just, you're just hurting yourself. You're not doing anything like to help you in the situation. So it's like you got to think about the risk and the reward. Like,
exactly.
You think you're looking cool in the moment. You're at the club, like you're feeling yourself, doing whatever, whoop whoop whoop. But you gotta understand what the backlash could be with the situation that you're in and being at the level that you are at now. So, um,
I think the Gilbert Arenas comparison, I think it was a good one, because if you think about it, Gilbert Arenas, you hear stories of him from Kobe, LeBron, these guys that were elite in the league at the time, just other guards that were elite, and you'll hear it from them. Gilbert was a problem. Gilbert Arenas was trading buckets with Kobe Bryant. He was scoring 60 points, 50 points, perennial all-star. He was a dog. But he made that one major mistake. And look, pulling a gun out on your teammate in the locker room, that's breaking a sacred bond. No NBA team, no roster will ever feel safe with you on that team, because they know some altercation goes on, you could get to shoot but that's a different conversation. With Ja, this starts to look like the building, it's like building towards that, you know what I mean? It's like the start of some sort of horrendous action, whatever it may be. Something really bad could go wrong with this type of mentality, type of action.
He's lighting the flame for the fire right now.
Yeah, exactly. And what I was trying to say was, when you hear stories about Gilbert Arenas, bro, you never hear stories about how great of an NBA player he was. I mean, maybe you do, like I said, because Kobe and those guys, but when you think about him, you're not thinking about perennial time all-star. You're not thinking about shoe deals. You're not thinking about all the things he did to change the culture of the sport he's playing in, or the culture of the world. You're not thinking about all the trends he sets or the kids he's inspired. You don't see anyone with Gilbert Arenas jerseys. Hey, Gilbert Arenas was averaging 28 a game in the league. He was killing dudes. But because of that one serious mistake he made, he ostracized from the league, blackballed from the league. And yeah, it was a very serious mistake. I don't know if it's to the degree of Ja's mistake, but I'm not excusing anything Ja did. But you understand what I'm trying to say? Some stuff like this, bro, it could be the difference between your legacy. It's exactly what it is. It determines your legacy. It could be the difference between looked at as a guy like one of the best point guards of all time, top 5, top 10 PG all time, or you just being another really good player for a few years or whatever, just in an era of basketball that only a select few niche of fans are gonna really know how good you were. Your true greatness, you're limiting yourself with actions like this. You can't be caught on the limelight like this. Bad publicity, very bad publicity, man. You can't be caught up in that. It affects you. It affects your play. It affects everyone around you. It affects your team. And you even he released a statement saying, "I'm sorry to the entire city of Memphis, the Grizzlies organization, because look, all publicity might not be good publicity. You want the eyes on you for sure, but not in this type of limelight, not in this type of way." That's all I gotta say about that, man. Just keep your head up, man. Try and do better, but this ain't the way. This ain't it. Try and repair it. Try and make reparations. Just do better, bro. Just do better. So the NFL draft, it's coming up soon, but the combine is going on right now. It's been going on for the past few days. It's about to wrap up, I think, tomorrow, the 6th of March. And yeah, we did our top 10. We were reacting to Mel Kiper's top 10 last episode, and a lot of things have played out since. A big name though, my bad. A big name we were talking about, or we weren't talking about, we didn't really mention him, is Anthony Richardson, quarterback for the Florida Gators.
Wait. Let me cut you off there. I mentioned him. I said he was gonna fly up the draft board. I said he was gonna have a combine for the century.
And so far,
go on.
He actually is. So far, he actually is. Dude ran a 4.43, I think, in the 40, and jumped 40.5 inches, or vertical jump, something crazy like that. I think that's a record they've been saying or so. Pretty much the dude is just a dog. The dude is a dog. What we saw on tape in Florida, he went out there and he showed it all pretty much. Even his deep ball, actually, it was looking pretty good. Or I saw the one clip that was posted pretty much everywhere. They always do that for the higher draft picks. So I didn't really see his full throwing session, but I didn't see any negative knocks on it like I thought I would before. And it sounds like teams are actually really responsive to his performance in the combine because out of nowhere they got this dude. They're talking about the Texans taking him at number 2. They're talking about teams trading up to grab him. They're talking about the Panthers trading up to get him. The guy, he's just a special talent. And I think we're going to start seeing more athletes like him in the future. Before I get into that, Ethan, what do you want to what do you have to say about Anthony Richardson? What are you thinking?
First of all, full disclosure, I don't think the combine means really anything. You're running a 40-yard dash. You're not doing that in the NFL. John Ross, like I said last time, fastest 40-yard dash. He's barely in the league right now. Jumping for a quarterback really doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is impressive that he had a 4.43, fourth fastest QB 40-yard dash since 2003, since we were born. 40.5 vertical record for QB. 10-inch broad jump record for QB as well in the combine. I told you, if you haven't listened to the last one, make sure you go do it. I can pull up I'm gonna pull up the receipts right now, but I basically said that Anthony Richardson was gonna have an all-pro combine, which he has. I said his stock was gonna rise into the top 10 easily, and as you said before, he might go to the Texans. Panthers consider him, but I think, as I said in the last one, the Seahawks are the best option. I think with Pete Carroll, DK Metcalf, Geno Smith, you can play under him. He's super raw. Physically, he's got everything you need. He's just putting it together to be a quarterback. I mean, it took Josh Allen 2 or 3 years to do it. So you're going to see more quarterbacks like this. Big, strong, like can do everything on the field. But yeah, I mean, the combine, I don't think can really help you unless you do record numbers like he's doing.
Yeah.
Most of the time it hurts you. I mean, Zach Wilson had that insane BYU Pro Day throw, and everyone said, "Oh, number 2 overall pick now," and I knew. I was like, "Bro, he doesn't have any shoulder pads on. He's just not snapping the ball. There's not a single defender down the field. He's just throwing the ball. He should be able to do that. We should be able to expect that." So I don't really take too much in the combine. But yeah, for the people that do, I mean, yeah, it's a good showing for him.
And to piggyback off of that, I do really agree. Not all the way, but I do really agree with you. Like the most of the combine stuff, it's pretty much just like rudimentary. Is that the word? I don't know, but it's just almost like BS. The 40 time, it doesn't really translate to football, but it's just nice to see how fast they can run. Really, it's a bunch of eye candy, pretty much. Yeah, like the bench press and stuff like that. It's nice to see how strong you are. But most of the time, like the top guys in the bench press, they're not really making any waves in the league either. Unless you're DK Metcalf, you're just that strong. Like your strength has to be clearly applicable onto the field or whatever. Like all this stuff, they have to be able to see you routinely, execute that on the field. So unless they don't see that, I'm pretty sure they just pass it to the side or whatnot. I don't know. These guys are so much. They do this for a living. The scouters or whatever, they know what they're looking for. I think they know what they're looking for because sometimes some talent goes under the radar. It just makes you question their jobs or their ability. But like I was saying, I think we're gonna start to see more Anthony Richardson type guys. The guys that could just play any position they wanted to on the football field if they really want, like put their minds to it. Anthony Richardson, he's got tight end size. He could be a defensive end. He could be a middle linebacker if he really trained for it. A guy is 6'4", 245, 250. It reminds me of Cam Newton, his playing ability. Really, I don't know about his playing ability, but the size, it gives you that type of vibe. And we're seeing guys like you. I think you mentioned before to me earlier, D lineman running 4.39 40. 4.39 40. What? And he'll be like 280, 290 pounds, and you look at the dude. And sometimes it doesn't even look like they're moving that fast, but it's just this new generation of athletes, just athletes in general, they've taken really, I think we're starting to see in every sport, NBA, NFL, hockey, soccer, we're starting to see everybody take that next leap, whether it be physically, mentally, whatever it may be. Just sports are advancing. The competition level, the skill level is advancing. You got to be able to make decisions quicker because, you know, we have film study now or whatever. People are starting to anticipate tendencies a lot more. There's more analytics behind things and stuff like that. But putting that all aside, I kind of got into a side tangent. I want to talk about the athletes. These guys, dude, I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know who's making them in labs or whatever. But we got 6'5", like Drake London. Drake London, 6'5", 210, 220. The dude's fast, great big hands. And you just wonder, I'm like, bro, what? Where did they make you from? But it's crazy because you could go into Olympic volleyball and look at one of the athletes right now and they'll be just like Drake London playing a completely different sport or whatever. So I don't think it's limited to just NFL, but I do think we get to see most of it at NFL because it's such a physical game, you know, that but these athletes, man, these next generation of athletes are scary, very scary. You're going to be able to do it all. We're going to start to see demigods in the NFL. Dudes 6'7", 6. We're going to start seeing more Rob Gronkowski guys playing, not even on the defensive side of the ball. They'll be playing running back, whatever, just another version of Derrick Henry. I'm waiting on a Derrick Henry plus. I'm waiting on it. It's coming soon.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I could go on and on, bro. We're gonna be in for some serious treats as sports fans sooner or later. Within the next 5 to 10 years, bro, you're gonna see.
I just think the gap between the athlete and the average Joe is just growing. Like even more. Like in the 60s, honestly, bro, I think we could have played.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie, dude. 40s, 50s, or 60s in the NBA or NFL, we could have played. Like easy. Like I'm not trying. No disrespect. Like they paved the way or whatever. But as JJ Redick once said, I think he was saying like Bob Cousy was playing against a bunch of plumbers and janitors and stuff like that. No disrespect, but I mean he's kind of right. I mean I'm looking right now. You got a 6'7" offensive lineman doing a 37-inch vertical.
6'7" back then in the NBA, you were a center. There wasn't 7-footers really.
And they didn't have a 37-inch vertical either. So
definitely didn't. Definitely not.
Regardless, that means nothing for an offensive lineman. He's not jumping. He's not a wide receiver, so it means nothing. But I think the combine's more now of showcasing the NFL athlete.
Yeah, definitely.
Rather than actually, it could affect your draft stock, but it's not make or break. It could have been back in the day, just because everyone's an athlete now. Everyone can do whatever they want, really. I agree. The NFL prototypical athlete, it can't be no Brady quarterbacks anymore. You're gonna have to be Josh Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, Richardson, Hurts. You're gonna have to be able to move. So it's just crazy to see how fast this like trajectory of like transition from like what a prototypical like athlete in the NFL was, or like even quarterback was, like Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, Philip Rivers, Tom Brady. Like you needed to be stationary, and now you need to be the opposite.
It's you start to see it in other positions too, like Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons was all pro as a linebacker, defensive end. It start to be like guys like that. Jamal Adams, he could play linebacker if you wanted to. They got him at safety. Some DBs could play, like Jalen Ramsey could easily play 3 or 4 different positions on defense too. So we're starting to see all sorts, shapes, sizes of athletes and abilities, different skill sets just come to the limelight, and I think it's good for the sport. I had something I was going to say that was piggybacking off of what you were saying earlier, but I forget. I lost my train of thought. But yeah.
Another thing I'll add though is I think Bo Jackson was ahead of his time. Dude was a 2-sport athlete, playing football and baseball. Like, you don't see that anymore. Usually it's you pick your sport and then
you stick to it.
That's what you do. But I definitely think that like Micah Parsons even said like yeah, I'll take a couple snaps from running back if they need me to.
See?
Like he could play. I
Yeah.
mean his 40-yard dash is fast too.
4-3.
Not that mean it doesn't translate to the NFL perfectly, but he can move. That's the point. I remember Mekhi Becton. He ran it under a 5 second 40-yard dash, and he was like 6'7", I think it was, over 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Like running under 5. Like what? Like
It's unbelievable.
normally
Jordan Davis.
they'd be running sixes. They used to be running sixes. Now he's running under 5.
Sub
like what?
5 seconds. Yeah. There's some beasts. Some beasts. So I want to ask a good question. I feel like, do you think we're gonna start to see more athletes like Bo Jackson, or the return of the dual sport professional athlete? Like they'll play NFL football, and then when the season's over, go to baseball or whatever it may be. You think we're gonna start to see some more of those, or who do you think we will see one of those again?
The latest one was Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
He had the ability. He was drafted by the Oakland A's in baseball, and he chose football. I think athletes are getting so good now that if you're not dedicated to like those one sport, you're not going to be able to compete at the highest level with those people that have been playing football or a single sport all their life. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I just think people are going to start focusing more on like the one sport. Like
I think that's where the money is too.
Kyler Murray can. That's why I think a big reason too is because he can make more money playing football than he could with the Oakland A's. I think he was making like 80 or 75% of what the whole roster's making when he signed his new contract
crazy.
Or whatever. So, and baseball doesn't even have a salary cap. So
like what?
That's like
yeah.
I think it's Deion Sanders was a two-sport athlete as well. He played baseball as well.
Deion, for sure.
I just think though,
Mahomes,
if you're not focused,
my bad,
Mahomes played baseball too.
Off, yeah.
Russell Wilson was drafted too. Tom Brady was drafted in baseball too as well. I think they'll be drafted but I don't think professionally you'll ever really see that again, or they'll be at that same level as like Bo Jackson was when he was best running back in the league, and he was a top outfielder. I don't think you'll see like they'll be at the top of each sport. I think if you ever saw that, they wouldn't be as
good.
As good. Yeah.
That's fair.
What about you?
I want to say yes, but for all the reasons you just listed, and like just because I feel like we're kind of getting soft. Like the skill level is increasing, all that type of stuff is increasing, but at the same time, I feel like people start to put science and analytics and like load management and all that type of stuff. I just don't think the athletes would do it because it potentially increased risk of injury. And then it directly correlates to their bag. No one's trying to compromise the bag for their secondary sport or whatever. Like as an athlete, because the mentality doesn't really change. You're still doing what you love. You love to play the sport. So if you gave Patrick Mahomes the opportunity, if it didn't interfere with the NFL at all, to go out and play baseball for whatever team wanted to draft him, yeah, he'd do it. But the Chiefs have invested way too much into him. Like, bro, you don't just... They gave him baseball money to strictly stay in the NFL. So, he doesn't need really any of that, I guess. I guess his focus is solely on football, and I guess that's just how sports have sort of transitioned. The skill level, yeah, like you said, it's just way too high. That you wouldn't get that... you would lose an edge focusing on something else. It would take too much for you to get back into that mode for whatever sports you were playing, like flip-flopping. So, yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's gonna happen anymore. But it'd be nice.
Another thing too is that we live in a world now where your brand's more important than your bag.
Yeah.
And honestly in everything. So I feel like if you were doing one sport and then you got hurt in that sport, and then the sport that you're better at, They'd be like,
Mm.
oh, maybe you shouldn't be playing that. Maybe you shouldn't have been doing that. You wouldn't have gotten hurt or whatever. Or maybe you'd be better if you weren't playing that one other sport. So I feel like it brand wise too. It's like riskier, and I don't think people are built to deal with as much risk as they could have
Yeah.
in the past with everyone having a voice and everyone on social media and stuff
Especially
like
if
that.
you're
So
elite, you don't want to, yeah.
you want to be elite, and you don't
want
want
anything to compromise it. Exactly.
to diminish it. I mean, everyone's always attacking LeBron and Jordan in the debate for any little thing. So it's like you don't want to give anyone any edge over anything or give them any bulletin board material to use against you and to hate on you and stuff like that. So I don't think you'll ever really see it again. So props to the people that shows the greatness of the Deons and the Bo Jacksons that did do it, and the Kyler Murray who did get drafted. Like, that's insane to do that. Two professional teams in two different sports drafted you, and you could have played in the other one too. Like, I mean, they just deserve more respect in my opinion too.
That'll be it for today. This episode, I enjoyed it. Hope Ethan enjoyed it too. I think he did. You enjoyed it, E?
It was good. Yeah, it was a good talk. It was a good talk. But
good talk.
Next week, getting into some college hoops.
Oh,
March
yeah.
Madness is upon
March
us, baby.
Madness,
Can't wait
baby.
for that.
Yeah. You guys enjoyed just like we did. Leave a like, comment, talk to us, get us at our socials. We'll leave all of that stuff on the screen somewhere. And yeah, have a good day, good week. See you guys. Stick around. Take care.